Ready?
It's both of us. Hello and welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, a video game music podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
Every week we listen to great video game music of all generations and all consoles. We just listen to everything that is good.
And then some.
And then some. This is a Patreon supported episode.
I love this. We are both exhausted.
Very tired.
And I thought I was like,
I've been doing a lot of physical work at the job. I got these standing desks, and like they sit on top of normal desks, so you can kind of like, and you put your monitors on them, and they rise up and down.
Oh, okay.
But they're heavy, and I ordered like 5 of them, and so I'm installing them in people's offices.
Yeah, that'll drain you.
And it's a lot of work, yeah.
And in my case, I'm just not sleeping enough, but working harder than I should. I'm tired. I woke up yesterday. And I got on the scale, and the scale said that I weighed more than I wanted to. Yeah. I'm not sure how accurate it is. Scales are jerks. But it was enough for me to go, something's got to give. Something's got to give. So I got off from work, went home, went right to Gym 1, worked out for about an hour, then left there, went right to Gym 2, worked out for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's why you're tired, man.
Got home.
You're burning it.
Played La Mulana 2 because I'm back at that one again.
So you're burning physically and you're burning mentally.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then I went to bed. Probably didn't get enough sleep because that's what happens when you're chilling in the cut, as they say in the streets. And then I woke up and I've been like fuzzy ever since. It's been a weird day, man. It's been a weird day. But La Mulana is still fantastic.
Hopefully, have you tried it? So you get this protein bar.
It's a refrigerator peanut butter bar.
That sounds good. Have you tried the prescription bars?
No.
The RX bars. So they're made with nothing but
actual aspirin,
mainly eggs.
Ew.
It's a very weird texture, but it's really good for you because it's mainly eggs.
Feels like it'll keep you on the potty.
It could, and it will.
No,
I don't know. I don't like them so much, but like they're really good for you. So if you're looking for something like that. Prescription Bars, the official sponsor of Rhythm and Pixels. Prescription Bars, you'll be on the potty. Anyway, so every month we do a live streamed recorded episode for our Patreon members. So if you go to patreon.com/rhythmandpixels and any small donation there, you get access to these live streams once a month. You hang out in the chat room, you say hi, we say hi back, we make dumb jokes.
We got a number of cool people in there today, actually, already, too.
Yeah.
David Cakes, Steve Miller. Yeah. Got Soulless Sanctuary. We got Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
We got that Nick Walker.
That Nick Walker?
And this Nick Walker, too. He's hanging around.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Mm-mm.
No.
You
could get with this. Okay, so also we have all of our tracks today are submissions from our Patreon members with little testimonials. We like to read the testimonials from each submission as well if they are sent to us also.
And this is a themed episode because we've been still running on themed user submissions.
That's right.
And I honestly kind of like those. I do want for a little bit. Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. I do want for more potential like input from like the Patreon members, like if they're interested, if they want to keep going with the theming or not, because it's a little bit of a mixed bag between the submissions here and there. But overall, I genuinely like getting the submissions based around themes. There's something to be said about, especially when we have a theme that we've already done, like this episode's going to do.
Right. So it was 2 episodes ago we did influential classics.
And I had an episode theme in mind for this, but while discussing with listener Bedroth, I came to he got confused and thought that our actual episode theme was the episode theme for the Patreon members, and he got really excited about it. I was like, well, now with that enthusiasm, I can't not pick that, so now we're doing that. So that's why the episode theme is Influential Classics Part 2. Patreon edition.
But mostly, because we also had some other submissions, which I would like to play anyway.
Of course.
Yeah. So that is always good. And I would also want to give a big plug, a big shout out to the Mad Gear Band. They just had their Kickstarter started for Turbo City Gaiden, which is their animated series, which they're starting. The pilot episode is out now on YouTube. If you look that up, The Mad Gear Turbo City, and it's 12 or 15 minutes of just hilarity. It's really funny.
The voice work is pretty good. So you have an excellent item jingle sound that I've been addicted to.
It's really clever. It's really silly. It's a whole lot of fun. And with every episode, they're going to have a video game attached to it, a small little mini game that I am producing and developing. So I'm plugging that as well. I'm not getting any money for that. I'm just saying, go give money to Cam so he can give it to me.
He wants to upgrade to scrolling.
Yeah, I want to do some bigger stages. I want to do some bigger stuff. So definitely go check that out. It's Kickstarter something.com/something that the Mad Gear. Just search the Mad Gear Kickstarter on Google. You'll find it. Even just $1, it's a huge, huge help. So go check him out. Go support the Mad Gear. The Mad Gear Turbo City Gaiden. The Mad Gear Turbo City Gaiden. Rental Rumble is the game, because they fight in a rental shop.
Okay, I get this feeling that if we don't shift gears, you'll just keep saying the Mad Gear for the entire segment.
Yeah, I promised him I would. In fact, next week, our special guest is Cameron Childs from the Mad Gear.
He better be now because you just said it.
And I double-checked with him. We're all good.
Excellent.
The next Thursday. All right, so let's get into some music. This is an even-numbered episode, which means that I'm going to start us off with a pick of mine, and we are going to go with one that doesn't have your name on it.
Uh-oh.
I know.
I'll put this on the docket, by the way, because apparently we forgot, but it needs to be an episode topic. I actually remembered when it came up on the show proper, too, but I forgot that we were talking about considering it as a topic. Lobster racing. That will be hard as the dickens to do. I'm even trying to think about where that would come from.
Lobster racing.
Lobster racing. That counts as obscure, abstract.
That was the fake Atari game that I made up last month, right?
And everyone had the different icons on the screen. They were drawing user icons related to lobster-based racing.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So now we got to come up with episode songs for it.
We can do it. Songs for lobster racing. I'm thinking songs for gambling, like gambling on lobsters.
No, no one's done that. I don't think there's even a game like that where you bet on crustaceans.
You should.
Well, we'll have to find that out.
I don't know. All right, I'm a little lost. We're gonna start with the track from Das Dude. This is Claude's theme song from Grand Theft Auto 3. So
I think Claude is the name of the character from that game.
I don't know anything about Grand Theft Auto. Anything past 2.
Oh, okay.
And even 2, I didn't play a whole lot of. So
I just piled up cars in the corner and blew them up.
You know, it's like Minecraft for blowing things up. It's like, ooh, what else can I just blow up? What else can I just run over? But the original one was it was the same thing. It was just top down and not 3D. Anyway, this is the theme song from Grand Theft Auto 3, and this was suggested by Das Dude.
because it takes me back to my 20-year-old PS2 console.
Oh my god.
That's more akin to where I sit right now. Too.
So, what you're listening to is Claude's theme, or the theme song from Grand Theft Auto 3, released in 2001, Purnell.
Yep.
On the PlayStation 2. This is, I had some composers. Composed by Craig Connor and Stuart Ross. And this was submitted by the dude, Das Dude. I just wanted to start this off because it's so chill. Like, this is relaxing.
And it's a very fantastic track, but honestly, the entire OST for this game was a complete gem.
It was Grand Theft Auto 4 when they started having like the radio stations and stuff.
Oh no!
That was on this one too.
At first they all had radio stations, like even the original.
Oh, even
ones,
the original ones too. Right,
it was
of course.
just that with this game, they started leaning more towards licensed tracks. They didn't have a ton in this, but they had a few. They had that Debbie, whatever her last name is, who did the music from Scarface. She had some tracks in this game. But for the most part, it was still a lot of in-house music from them and the radio stations and all. But then when Vice City came out, they took all that money from Grand Theft Auto 3 that they made and went buck wild and just got licensed track on top of licensed track to have this fantastic 80s vibe going across it. And actually, I want to say, post anime exposure insanity, the GTA the GTA Vice City OST was the first one I purchased since that period, and it was a massive. It was like a big box with multiple discs in it.
Oh wow!
That were all based on the individual radio stations. So you could just say, "Today I will listen to WKRYY." You just put that CD in your CD player, and boom, you got the entire radio station in your car.
So I was thinking about the GTA that I remembered. I had a combination disc that was GTA 1 and 2, and it had the it was like not an expansion, but it was like a kind of like an expansion to GTA 2.
Oh, the Britain one?
Yeah, British one, because it was called London 1969. And I want to say there was a lot of like classic sounding Brit rock that played in the background as you played that one.
That's the thing. I feel like I'll have to double check later because that was one of the only ones I didn't play. Because at that point I was like, oh, they're milking the formula now. They're milking it. But I just felt like I feel like they were mostly using like music they came up with in their studio.
Yeah, I think it was all studio-based stuff, which I mean is fine because I mean the game itself I felt like was.
See, Bedroth knows "Push It to the Limit," and for the record,
was that in "Push It to the Limit"? Was that
in 3?
In 3?
And for the record, I didn't know that song was from a movie. I didn't know it was a real song. I only knew it from the game.
Oh my god!
So
every time I hear
at that point, I was just like, I'll be in the car, like "To the limit." Like I'm driving, having a good time with it. You steal a car, and that track comes on. All of a sudden, the cops are chasing, and that song is going. It's a fantastic rush.
Oh, that's good.
Which also, for the record, Rush is also in the game.
Oh, is it?
Rush, give me, yeah, yo.
Oh, I thought you meant like
so
good. The seminal rock band.
No,
prog rock.
No, there's no Rush the band, but give me, yeah, yo's in the game.
Okay,
and it's a great track.
Oh man, well I feel like the mood, the vibe that this song is giving is like kind of where we're at right now.
And I gotta say, there was something magical about when I started really coming into a lot of these games that had licensed OSTs, but specifically
that wasn't a rhythm game.
Yeah, that wasn't a rhythm game. Actually, no, take that back. It can include rhythm games too, but specifically licensed games or licensed OSTs that weren't exactly tier A tracks, I'll say. Because what ends up happening is they'll get these licensed tracks that are affordable to purchase. So you'll get like these like indie and like tier C bands that will pop on there. And you'll end up really coming to love them. And they become your tier A bands. Like Burnout 3 did that to me big time.
What they have in Burnout 3? Oh, yeah.
Now I'm trying to remember the name. I know like Go Betty Go was a band that was in that game. And I was listening to them for a good while since then.
The Von Blondes. Ramones was in it. Pennywise.
There's just a lot of fantastic, like, just bands that at the time...
Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, Rise Against. Well, there's a lot of...
Are you sure those were all in Burnout? Maybe they were.
Takedown. It was all in Takedown. Yeah, Burnout 3 Takedown. Is that what it's called? I never played it.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I've ever met a person that ever referred to it by the subtitle.
Yeah, it came out in 2004. I wasn't playing a lot of games.
But that game, Burnout 3... So, I wish that could be considered an influence.
There's a lot of emo music in this game.
I honestly wish that you could consider Burnout 3 to be an influential classic.
Does that make Burnout 3 an emo game?
No.
It doesn't it?
No.
Shouldn't it?
No.
Atreyu?
No.
Look at this.
No. I think that list is incorrect.
This is amazing.
No, I think that list is incorrect. I don't recall even half of those bands being
All
in
right,
that game.
I'm starting a poll in the chat. If Burnout 3 Takedown is the emo game,
It is not an emo game.
then don't say anything.
Okay, that is the worst way to do any sort of poll.
All right, why don't we go on, move along then? So, what's your first pick that you're going to go with tonight?
All right. Well, let me see if I can find one on this list here. I am going to go with.
Oh, you can use my monitor too. You want to do that?
No, I got it.
Okay.
So I'll go with this one. It'll be a nice way to start the show off too. So the first track I'm going to pick came from listener Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
From a game that up until he submitted this track, I had honestly never heard of.
Yeah.
It was called Winning Run.
Yes.
And the track is just the theme song from Winning Run, composed by Hiroyuki Kawada.
Let me tell you, I love arcade racing game music. It makes me happy. And Electric Boogaloo has amazing taste.
Mike nailed it.
What okay?
Burnout 3 is mall punk. And I can support that because I'm gonna when we go to the break, I'm gonna see if I can find the track that one of the bands I really fell into with this game.
Okay.
I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's gonna click all of a sudden. Watch.
All right. Well, let's check it out then.
Welcome back. You are listening to the theme from the game Winning Run, an arcade racer submitted by listener Electric Boogaloo. Up until his submission, again, I had never heard of this game or the music that it contained, but I like this track quite a bit, and I was also very interested in his actual testimonial as well.
Oh, what does Mr. Boogaloo have to say?
I was trying really hard to not come up with another Hiroyuki Kawada track submission, but since this is the Influential Games episode, I had to go with this particular one. Winning Run, not only the first game to be released on Namco's System 21 board, which powered the likes of Starblade, Air Combat, and Cybersled, but it is also the first commercially released fully polygonal arcade racer released in Japan on December 1988, beating out Atari Games' Hard Driving to market by nearly 2 months.
Wow, Hard Driving was a bad game.
Here, well, bad as in good, 80s style or bad as in present day bad?
I remember not liking it at all in the
Really?
80s. But I mean, it was the 80s. I didn't know games. Right?
Hard Driving.
I
was a Top Gear guy, so what do I know? That was the 90s anyway, so whatever.
That was not polygonal.
Here, you're driving a blazing fast Formula One car, with your goal being to finish in the top spot. You can see how this would influence the likes of Virtual Racing, Ace Driver, and Indy 500. If you can find a cabinet laying around somewhere or able to get it running on MAME, it's absolutely worth checking out.
All right.
And I can honestly say from what I saw footage-wise of this game, it absolutely does seem like the predecessor to like Virtual Racing.
That's cool. I want to look this up and check that out. And especially this soundtrack. This sounds like Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock?
So good. Herbie Hancock. Yeah, Rocket. You heard Rocket?
Maybe I'd know it if I heard it, but by name, not so much.
So good.
Apparently, Kung Fu Carlito agrees with me. He flat out said Herbie Hancock. So you have a kindred spirit there. I wasn't catching it.
He's so good.
Race driving and hard driving only existed to take your quarters.
Maybe race driving was what I was thinking of. There was this game that was at a Chuck E. Cheese. I guess it was Showbiz Pizza when we were kids. And it was this big sit-down cabinet. And it had like a key and a big wheel, everything. And I would sit down into it and be like, it's a 3D racing game. It's going to be fun. And I would sit down and you hit the gas and it would go so slow. And I felt like the game couldn't keep up. Like the game was having a hard time like producing the polygons. And then it would just go and then you would crash and the game would be over. And I'd be like, didn't even go that fast.
That wasn't enjoyable. Well, the funny thing is, like, I think back on like a lot of arcade racing games, and while I was obviously as an adult, I think even when I was a teenager, I kind of developed that, bare knuckle, like white knuckle driving style because I just couldn't fit in the cabs to actually hit the brakes properly.
So your foot was just on the gas the whole time?
Yeah, I had to choose brakes or gas. I couldn't hit either or. So you're just like, okay, I'm just going to accelerate and hope for the best.
That is so funny to me.
Can't hit the brakes. I gotta decelerate slowly. Just hope I can pull it off.
Just gotta hit the walls to slow down.
Oh, I did that. In fact, a lot of PS1 racing games, I was like that. My whole shtick was to just like rub the paint against the wall. Like, okay, I can just slow down and get the cut.
I gotta ask, do you have this experience? Because you and I, we loved like arcade racers, right? Like Ridge Racer and all that stuff. But like the first time you played Gran Turismo, was it super disappointing?
Very.
I mean, like
I remember buying that because of all the different game magazines chronicling like one of the greatest racing sims ever. Which, for the record, at the time, my brain didn't really zero in on the whole sim part. It just hurt racing. So I bought the game and took it home all ready to like drive like official licensed cars.
Yeah.
And then the first thing you have to do is get your driver's license, which at the time I don't recall even having yet. No, I did have one. I think I did because Gran Turismo 2 came out when I had just entered college.
Okay, so yeah, you had probably gotten it like that.
I had probably just gotten the license, but I just sat there like, how is this enjoyable?
I remember like sitting down like one weekend and being like, I'm going to figure this game out and understand what I'm doing wrong. And the manual that came with the game was huge, and it was like actual racing. Like instructions, like how to ride like the apex of a curve and like how to manage like the tension, like the friction of your tires to the speed that you're going so that you can like do the corners and everything correctly. And after a while I was like, this just feels like work. And I just stopped.
But that's exactly what the game was though. So, and that's what's interesting.
I was like, all I wanted to do was like drift and crash.
I just wanted to zoom, vroom, vroom.
So then
just drive my car.
Yeah, but then Ridge Racer Type 4 came out, and then I felt much better.
Oh, yeah. But like, it's funny. It's like one thing I mentioned, like Kung Fu Carlito goes, it's like you're taking a driver's ed class in the 80s. I think he's referring to hard driving and race driving games.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think they actually had like those little simulation machines.
Yeah, but I think that's why he
in the
was
90s.
saying that. It resembles that. But, like, I think it's funny because I may have mentioned this on a previous episode, but I think it's appropriate to bring up now, too, that I am pretty confident in stating that I prepared for my driver's ed exam with Crazy Taxi. Not ashamed to admit it. It worked until I had to drive in the city. When I was driving the highways, I was killing it.
You're making crazy money until you had to make crazy grades.
Oh, no, I made the grade.
It was only
until I had to start driving in neighborhoods and stuff, because I remember driving in the neighborhood and actually almost went up on some lady's lawn. The driver's ed instructor had to go nuts on the passenger side brakes that were installed in that car. It was rough.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot they had like the little extra brake to be like this. That's like their no.
Oh, but on 95, boy, it was the easiest thing. I was like, I remember kids being afraid to drive on the highway, thinking it was scary. I was like, no, this is the best part. I was like, killing it.
Yeah, you just go and everyone just passes or they get behind you.
But it makes you wonder how many people that played Gran Turismo prior to, I talk about I played Crazy Taxi younger before driver's ed exam.
Oh,
maybe wonder how many people played Gran Turismo prior to their driver's ed exams that ultimately end up leading into that game to prepare them for a driver's exam.
No, because I feel like you have to have like a better, like a fundamental knowledge of driving to even be good at Gran Turismo.
I don't know.
Like you have to know the rules of football to enjoy Tecmo Bowl, right?
No, you don't.
Don't you?
No. I used to play it with my brothers. I knew nothing about football, and while I didn't enjoy Tecmo Bowl, it was more so a lack of winning that did that than in the actual game itself. I just picked passing plays, then passing plays. Well, that was my entire shtick.
Well, Purnell, lack of winning is coming soon because we have a trivia game for you.
Hey,
it's short, but it's fun.
Hey, don't knock your skills, man. Just because you didn't win last time doesn't mean you won't win this time. But I know I'm going to win, so it's okay.
I hope you do good, because if you do really good, I'm going to be really proud. Like, in my skills of a trivia master, and you being my trivia student. All right, this next track is from Hammock. Hammock from KVGM, The Last Wave, a chill video game music podcast. He, of course, came up with Passing Breeze from the game OutRun in the arcade, composed by Hiroshi Kawaguchi. We're back. You're listening to Passing Breeze from the game OutRun, composed by Hiroshi Kawaguchi. And this was picked by Hammock from KVGM, The Last Wave. And we're just here talking about Driver's Ed when we were like 16, 17 years old. But Hammock has a testimonial. I have words. I'm just going to read the words.
You have the best words, bro.
I'm just going to read the words. Of course, I couldn't not recommend OutRun when it comes to influential classics. From the strong influence on future racing games to the cool late 80s summer aesthetic to the timeless soundtrack, and most importantly to my high score in an arcade somewhere in Carson City, Nevada. HAM, number one forever, baby.
Going ham on the highway.
This game is hard.
I've never gotten very far in OutRun.
No.
Does it have an ending?
It does. There's like a route. So the game was also a big influence on the birth of my show, The Last Wave, and truly embodies all that is smooth and chill about Aqua City.
Isn't this also the game that Magical Sound Shower came from?
Yes, it is. The game had 6 or 7 tracks, and at the beginning, before you start playing, you can actually change the radio station to what you want to hear.
Mm-mm.
And the songs are pretty long, too. Like, we're actually... I came in, like, on the first loop, but, like, it's actually the first... like A and B sections loop, and then there's a whole other section coming up right here. I want to say it's a percussion solo. There we go. Nope, it's a key change.
Ooh.
We get into a key change. You know what a key change means, Pernell? It's time for a quiz.
That's not what a keychain means.
That's exactly what it
means. A key change means new Pokemon.
Oh, when you change your keys out? What about if you lost your keys?
The clef key.
The clef keys? Pernell, are you ready to play? Are you ready to play, Pernell?
I don't know what it is. Oh, the what?
We're ready to play. Who is the World Warrior?
Me.
So you have to...
I've been to 2 states.
All right, so there are... Okay, this is all from Street Fighter 2 Super Street Fighter 2. So that means those characters.
Yes.
You know how, like, if you just let the attract screen go, it shows you, like...
Like their bio?
Their bios. I'm going to give you the bio, and you have to tell me the character.
Okay, well, I'm going to lose the hell out of this, but let's try anyway.
Yeah, so...
This is like devious mess. This is specifically having to know the Street Fighter. I don't even know all the characters in that game.
Well, what I did was, I mean, it's not even the BIOS. This is you're going to see what I mean. So you're going to have to use context clues to figure out which ones are which. And I picked ones that are going to be as obvious as possible. And I'm going to start with a really easy one.
I'm just going to say, by the way, everyone,
there's only
who's
6
listening,
of them. There's only 6.
This is a ringer quiz. He knew what was up. He was prepared. All right, let's see how it goes.
All right, so who is the World Warrior? Okay, date of birth, November 22nd, 1952. He's 5'10", 107 pounds. He can change height and weight to some extent.
A what?
Bust size, 42 inches. Waist, 18 inches. And hips, 25 inches. Blood type O.
See, that's already weird, because I can picture someone changing height, but the weight throws me off quite a bit.
So,
I was going to say it's Dulcine.
It is Dulcine.
Where do you get the weight part?
I don't know. It's weight, 107 pounds.
Wait, that's his actual bio in the game?
This is his bio in the game. All of these are their actual bios. Everyone in the game has a bust, waist, and hip size.
All right, someone in the chat who's listening to that right now, you have to tell me, where did they get the context of him changing weight? Because I get the height, but the weight thing ain't swinging.
It's video game magic. Are you ready for the next question?
Yoga.
Okay, date of birth, November 3rd, 1960. Height is 6'2". His weight is 304 pounds.
There's no description, though.
His bust is 83 inches, waist is 70 inches, and hips 82 inches.
He's 6'2".
Blood type A. 6'2", 304 pounds, and look at those dimensions.
That's not going to be T-Hawk, is it?
70-inch waist.
So I'm trying to think, he's like the largest character who's not just like, because like, it can't be Honda. Honda's short. T-Hawk is huge and tall, but he's got like mass.
Right. See, this
so
is what
T-Hawk.
the context clues I'm trying to give you, right?
So it'd either be him, or at most, if it's not him, the only other person it could be is like Sagat.
It's Honda.
Oh crap! Honda is not 6'2".
This is canon for now.
This
He's
cannon,
6'2".
and blast that out of a cannon. He is not 6'2".
You know, he looks short because he like crouches.
Man, that's some bull. He is not 6'2". That would make Chun-Li like 7'6".
Look how happy he is.
He's a liar.
He's like, ah.
He lied on the application. That's what happened.
Hooray! All right, here we go. Number 3.
Bull crap.
Yeah. All right, date of birth, January 6th, 1974. Height, 5 feet 5 inches. Weight, 101 pounds. Bust size, 34 inches. Waist size, 22 inches. Hips, 35 inches. Blood type B.
I love how you read the blood type like that's ever going to help.
Like the date of birth, 1974.
Well, this is a younger World Warrior.
Okay, 5'5", 101 pounds.
That could be Chun-Li, actually.
It's Cammy.
I was close. Those hips don't lie. Except to
Cammy.
me, because I thought it was Chun-Li.
So I picked the biggest character and put him next to the smallest character.
So if Chun-Li's not in here at any point, I'm going to be sad.
All right.
She better be.
I can't remember.
Chun-Li's awesome.
I did it way early this morning. All right, up next. All right, date of birth is February 12th.
A couple people actually picked up on that.
All right, 1966. Height is 6'5". Weight is 218 pounds. Bust size, 77 inches. Waist, teeny tiny waist, 47 inches. Hips, 67 inches, but 6'5". 218 pounds. Blood type B.
The height doesn't help me anymore because freaking Honda's 6'2".
I know, right?
So I don't know what to believe in height anymore with this franchise.
This person's taller than Honda and weighs 100 pounds less.
Less than E Honda.
Yeah. Who could it be? Give it out. Throw it out there.
Jesus crap. Bye. Freaking. Was it Ryu? No, I didn't. See, you're killing me, Robert.
Come on.
Who is this? Maybe this is T-Hawk. I want it to be T-Hawk. It is not T-Hawk.
It's Blanca.
I said Blanca. You weren't listening. I said Blanca. I was like, it's that wolf dude.
Blanca is not 6'5".
Yeah, I know he's not. That's why this thing is screwing me. I guess he walks hunched over all the time.
I guess because he's hunched over. All right. Next character. Date of birth, December 23rd, 1960. Height is 6'1".
I don't know what to believe anymore.
His weight is 191 pounds. Bust size 49 inches. Waist 32 inches. Hips 35 inches. Blood type O.
Who the hell is this?
6'1", 191 pounds.
No, height doesn't matter anymore.
I'll tell you right now, it's not T-Hawk.
It's not T-Hawk, that's for sure. It's not.
Okay, so this character is my height.
Yeah, that helps.
But weighs...
Blanca's taller than you, Rob. Did you know that? Actually, Honda's taller than you. Did you know that?
I know. I have someone to look up to now. All right, so...
terrible.
Who is it? 6'1", 191 pounds.
I think based on the font, it's got to be from Super Street Fighter,
really,
like one of the
really
new
big
characters.
Chest. Really, really, really big chest. 49 inches chest.
You're saying you don't think that's T-Hawk?
None of these are T-Hawk.
Sagat.
Guile.
Guile.
Look at that chest on Guile. He's busting out of the tank top.
I only know him for his hair and his legs. I never knew what his top was like.
There you go. Now you know. Now you have something to. Now you have a
Richard Tater.
Now you can tailor him his suit.
Whoa! I'll be dang. 2 people got it in there.
All right. I'm glad that
The
people.
dude
are
and
this.
Bedroth got Guile.
Thank you. If people at home, listeners, please keep track, and then send us an email, rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com. It's fine. All right. Here we go. Date of birth is July 2nd, 1955.
That's Sagat. That's Sagat.
Yeah. Height is
That's Sagat.
7
That's
feet,
Sagat.
4 inches.
Stop. That's Sagat.
283
That's
pounds.
Sagat. If it's not Sagat, I quit.
It's Sagat. Look how happy he is.
If that wasn't him, I would quit.
I love these pictures of them. Like you get these busts, right? The portrait shots of their faces, and they look kind of evil. But then their winning pose, they're just so happy.
And the next thing you know, they're being told to go home and be a family man.
Yeah. Well, that's Guile because he's cruel. Thank you for playing, Purnell. Thanks for playing.
Yes.
Name
Yes.
that Street Fighter.
One day I'm going to come up with one that is just as vicious. Like, I'm going to name a bunch of weapons that only exist in third-tier JRPGs. I hope you can guess them wrong.
I thought that was a pretty good quiz.
It was like a quiz, but it was cruel and unusual. Honda is not 6'2". He is not. I'm going to go home and look at like all kinds. We're going to look up fan art. Someone's had to draw him standing up, and they're not even drawing him that tall.
A lineup of all the characters, and like they're like you can see the heights like compared to each one. I mean, like really, Blanca is not 6'5". Like that's insane, right?
He is not.
Like Sagat, 7 feet.
7'4" is Sagat. That makes total sense.
Kind of makes sense. But Blanca, I'm confused. But anyway,
It's Chester Cobblepot up in there. I don't know.
I don't know. All right, Purnell, what's your second track?
All right, so my second track is going to come from listener Bedroth. From definitely something I consider to be an influential classic, so I wholeheartedly agree with him on this. From the game Doom. And this track, I don't think I've ever heard before his submission, so hopefully in the chat he can elaborate a bit more. But this is called The Demons from Adrian's Pen. And I don't think I have a composer on here. But
I don't, because I couldn't remember which Doom this was from, and I did not find it. So here we go. This is The Demons from Adrian's Pen. Like, he was drawing something on a piece of paper, and demons came out.
That's Comic Zone.
That's the Purnell level humor that you expect on Rhythm and Pixels.
Hey! Give me some credit. My
Comic
humor.
Zone, yeah, that was Comic Zone. The Comic Zone was like a Looney Tunes, you know, where the pencil comes out.
Oh, in that regard, yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, like
you actually see them drawing the enemies before they come out and attack you.
All right. Back to the music from Doom.
welcome back. You just listened to The Demons from Adrian's pen from the game Doom, submitted by listener Bedroth, composed by Bobby Prince, according to Rob. Think we're going with that.
Yeah, well, I've downloaded the track out. I was like, oh, is this like the new Doom where it's all like the heavy metal stuff? But no, it's not. This is like, although a lot of the music from the original Doom was inspired by like heavy metal groups. So this one was possibly based on The Call of Cthulhu by Metallica.
Huh.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense then. So I'm going to read 2 testimonials for this because even though this is the track that I ended up picking, we actually had 2 Patreon members who submitted tracks from Doom as their influential classics. Both excellent picks. So I'm going to read both testimonials. I think it's a valid point to make.
Okay, so what's Bedroth's first testimonial?
It begins. I just took a trip down a terrifying part of memory lane and listened to the OSTs of all 3 original episodes of Doom. Of course, everyone remembers At Doom's Gate. Pernell doesn't. And the tracks that play on all 3 first missions of each episode are fantastic. But I decided to go with the creepy butt track that plays during Mission 2 of Episode 2, The Shores of Hell. The level is called Containment Area, and the track's name is The Demons from Adrian's pen. The song itself brought back some surprisingly strong memories, so much so that when I watched some game footage of the level, I actually remembered where the player was going to go. Here's a little... here we go. Here's a little snippet from the game's composer, Bobby Prince. I found off the Video Game Music Preservation Foundation wiki, so he was already ahead of both of us on that one.
Already on it.
Starting about 1 minute and 12 seconds into the song, you will hear a musical technique that helps to keep a song interesting without it being obvious. What the composer does is he changes the feel of the downbeat. There are many ways to do this,
right here.
But in this case, I started playing the bass drum / snare drum parts an eighth note later than it had been played up to that time. This makes the music feel like it is pushing ahead while seeming to rotate or turn around. It's almost the same thing as causing a car to start spinning out of control. At 1 minute and 36 seconds, the car all of a sudden jerks back out of the spin. I do like that testimony.
Yeah, it does feel kind of like a car crash. Not car crash, but it feels like a slow and...
It's coming back into driving properly.
Kicking back into gear. Now, someone else also submitted a track, but I think they also submitted At Doom's Gate, right?
Yeah, that was Stephen Miller. He submitted At Doom's Gate, and I was about to read his testimonial, too. Ta-da! Stephen Miller's testimonial for At Doom's Gate, also from Doom, submitted by composed by Mick Gordon. I need a nap. Anyway, the point is, here's the testimonial.
Not Mick Gordon, that was my mistake.
You McGuffined it!
Yeah. It's Bobby.
Also Bobby Prince.
Bobby Prince.
There's going to be some edits here, or we're going to call it Live Junction. Anyway, here's a testimonial from Stephen Miller. My jaw practically hit the floor the first time I heard this song coming out of my little 486 computer speakers.
Nice.
I didn't even know what metal music was yet, but man, was I hooked.
All right.
I can relate to that, man. I genuinely do not think video game music would be where it was today if not for the metallic, blood-soaked tang of Doom's soundtrack. I can honestly 100% relate to that because video games are how I got into metal music too. Mike Myers got me to appreciate it. I would play so many TurboGrafx games, Turbo CD to be specific, because if you recall, almost every Turbo CD game had a hard rock and OST.
Yeah, right? Like, I remember, like, you introduced me to that, and I was like, wow, this is some heavy stuff.
Yes.
All these games.
So, like, one day while hanging out with Mike back when I first met him, he's like, do you listen to metal? I was like, no, that's the devil's music. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, I can't listen to metal. It's satanic music. Like, I was literally brought up to believe that. So I just thought it. So he introduced me to Opeth with the intent being to help me draw a connection between the instrumentals of VGM and the instrumentals of Opeth, since they have a lot of tracks that are very light on the vocals.
So it must have been successful then, right?
Oh, it worked. Yeah. It worked like a charm. At first, I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, oh, this sounds pretty good. It was a song called Nectar by Opeth. And I'm like, this sounds pretty good. Toe tap, and the guy goes, like, turn it off. But turn it off. And I played it again, let it play a little bit, got to the boogity, turned it right back off. And then one day, exactly that. One day, I just let it go. I just listened to it all the way through. And I came to realize that, one, the concept of it being devil's music was nonsense. The sound isn't that. If they wanted to make the lyrics specifically about that, that's a whole nother story. But the music was not. The music was wonderful. And if I couldn't understand the growling, it just felt like another instrument on the song. So it still worked for me. And then I just went down a nice spiraling rabbit hole of various metal bands, of various metal subgenres, like, freaking, what's it? Heavy metal, death metal, doom metal. What was the one that freaking like Nightwish was? They were like some symphonic
Symphonic
metal.
There's like math metal or something like
There was like elven metal. Some weird.
I remember talking to Brad. Brad got really into it. We would drive up to the arcades to play ITG, and he'd be like, "Check this out. This is stoner metal." And like the next week, he'd be like, "This is sludge metal."
Sludge metal. It's like someone's walking through a swamp.
Yeah, and the one was it was like math metal or something like that, or calculus metal, but it was like the rhythm guitar sections were like really long solos, and so there was never like a normal like straight section.
I admittedly would tell people I listen to math rock just so I could feel like I was smart.
Yeah.
I know what it means now. It's based on like the actual like measures that you play the music in. But back then, I didn't know what the heck math rock was. I just knew that this was a math rock song, and I'm like, oh, listen to math rock, guys. I'm smart. Check me out.
I'm a teacher. I'm a professor of rock and roll.
I don't know if that Nick Walker said this with the intent for it to be punny. But he goes, my friend likes pirate metal. It's a gem. And I'm thinking about that like gems as in like pirate treasure.
Oh.
And I'm like, guy.
Pirate metal. All right. All right. Well, so
baby metal's good, by the way.
Baby metal.
Yeah. Soulless Sanctuary goes, how about baby metal? I like them, and they rhyme. I like them because they remind me of another metal band like back in the day called Yellow Machine Gun, because they're hard metal rockers, but all of their lyrics are like borderline candy pop. Like, there's a song on freaking Wok where they're just talking about like having difficulty like in English class or something, but the entire song is like very hard metal, and then the girl's like singing like very happy light vocals. It's a weird juxtaposition, but I've really fallen for it. It's good stuff.
Well, here we go. Our next track is a hard rock song. This is from the game BlazBlue CentralFiction. The track is called Walpurgisnacht, the theme of 9 the Phantom. And I wanted to pick this track because it was submitted by a new Patreon member, Reinhardt Zelkova.
Ah.
That was the theme of Nine the Phantom, Walpurgisnacht, from BlazBlue CentralFiction, composed, performed, created,
Melting with by
smelted by Daisuke Ishiwatari, and that was picked by Reinhard Selkova, one of our new Patreon members. So thank you very much. We appreciate the suggestion. He also had a topic suggestion as well for us to do Yasunori Mitsuda, which I think is a great idea.
So we gotta start writing these. Then you probably keep them on like a Word doc or something.
I used to.
That case before I leave.
Now what happens is that either if we don't have a guest, I just text you and I'm like, Brunel, quick, what are we doing?
I'm already good for that. I just shoot topics like crazy. So I'll probably write it on a post note before I leave or something.
Yeah, because we were going to do a bunch. Romancing Ed, we got part 2.
That'll be ridiculous.
Apparently, we got to have Mitchell Long back on at least another 6 times.
We do have another episode topic that's coming up in the future too, though. It's spoiler, but it's not a big deal. It's called Super Fund, which should be an interesting one for us to mess around with.
I'm looking forward to that one. It should be really good. But BlazBlue, right? Pretty good stuff, pretty heavy stuff.
Well, before we get into that,
classic Daisuke.
Before we
Ishiwatari.
get into that,
Ishiwatari.
Now, before we get into that,
oh no, we're from Delaware. Ishiwatari.
Oh Christ, water ice. I do like water ice.
I know you do. I do too.
Now, before we go too far, I want to make an announcement that was submitted by listener Bedroff in relation to the composer of this track, Daisuke Ishiwatari, in which he says that episode 3 of his still in beta podcast called Very Good Music is dropping tomorrow afternoon, and it features a couple of Ishiwatari tracks. The topic is rivals, rogues, and frenemies.
Okay, yeah. So like a lot of those characters from BlazBlue and Guilty Gear.
And also, just to make sure I got it right, he says tomorrow, but this is the day we are recording, so he's
right.
likely referring to the 28th.
Yes, so
February.
That'll be last Friday. Check it out. I'm sure it's on Apple or Spotify or everywhere else like podcasts get picked up and played.
Oh yeah.
So definitely check that out. It's kind of a cool little community of game music podcasters. Been great.
And I honestly love that. Like there's something kind of warm about it. Like I'm sure there's some out there, but thankfully I haven't come across those.
Yeah.
But aside from those folks, I've honestly never really come across any real egotism floating around the community. No one's being a complete shill or a jerk.
I mean, some people are just maybe a little more like reclusive or don't like to engage as much as others. But like other than that, like you meet them and they're super friendly. Like the Legacy Music Hour, those guys were great.
Yep, they were fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, honestly.
It was one of the things where you'll meet somebody at a con or something, and I expect there to be a high chance, generally, of meeting a person at a con and being like, "Ooh, back away! I'm a little anxious here. I'm feeling anxious."
We grew up in the '90s of internet stranger danger.
Oh yeah,
so, and it just bleeds into our lives now, where it's like you're an internet friend, but I mean you in real life.
I'm always anxious and cautious, and yet somehow when it comes to the VGM community,
everyone's great.
Everyone just has been great. There's been no real issues with that. It hasn't triggered stranger danger in any way.
Right.
I am very happy with this community in such a way that I am genuinely glad to even be remotely part of it.
Right. It was great to also meet Cameron from the Mad Gear. His new series, Turbo City Gaiden, which is just released on Kickstarter.
Well, we met him before the series. It was a weird, surprising bump up at MAG. It was hey, guy.
But if you support his Kickstarter, you get to meet him further and learn more about him. And the Mad Gear, Turbo City Gaiden, now on Kickstarter.
Oh, mercy. That was a terrible plug, Rob.
That was so bad.
That was a terrible plug for Turbo City Gaiden launching on Kickstarter. I'm stopped.
All right, Pernell, what's your final track?
Alrighty.
Yeah, we got a lot to pick from. I don't think we're not going to be able to get through all of them, but we don't delete anything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even though we do the listener theme submissions, as you can tell from like some of the picks we've had tonight, just because it doesn't fit theme doesn't mean it won't necessarily make it into the show.
Right.
But of course, that still means that you do please submit for the theme because that's part of the fun.
It's part of the fun.
But my final track before bonus time is honestly a different vein of influential classic. I believe this comes more from the heart, like influence to the person who submitted it.
Okay.
This comes from listener Stephen Miller. Comes from one of my favorite JRPGs. I had to pick this when I heard it because he and I are on the same page for this bad boy.
Yes.
And that is the decisive battle from Final Fantasy VI on the SNES, composed by Nobuo Uematsu. Literally probably the best boss theme ever composed. But I don't want to steal his words because he kind of said the same thing. But let's get to the jam. You're listening to Final Fantasy VI, The Decisive Battle, SNES Classic, submitted by listener Stephen Miller and composed by Nobuo Uematsu. Thank you for submitting this track because I love it so freaking much. I listen to this track at least once a week, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that.
No, I believe it. This is I mean, like, this is the music you listen to when you're ready to take down something big. Mm-hmm. You're ready to pay your taxes.
It gives me a sense.
You're ready to finish off the work week. You know, like, this is that kind of music.
It's that music where you need to churn butter, and your arms are tired.
That's right.
Because you've been installing desk elevators all day. I don't know.
I bruised my hand, like, right here.
That sounds like you had quite the decisive battle there, Robert.
See how blue it is?
It's quite the decisive battle you had.
Anyway, come on.
So, testimonial time from Stephen Miller. This is another one from my childhood. The first RPG I can remember playing, and arguably the best SNES era soundtrack, period. Final Fantasy VI was the first time I looked at VGM separately from its visual counterpart, and I'm certain it shaped my future music taste, given my love for both the Black Mages and Deep Purple. Best battle theme ever written for an RPG. Fight me. And my response to that is, fight us! Tag team, baby! We'll take it! But I have to agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, Final Fantasy VI, I still say, was my favorite Final Fantasy they ever did, and it infuriates me that Final Fantasy IV got an update. They jumped to Final Fantasy VII with this freaking eat butterfingers to get nicer around garbage. They're giving all these updates and remasters. 6 is just sitting left in the dust. 6 was a fantastic RPG in the vein of storytelling. Can you recall any other JRPGs or RPGs prior to this that actually had like story vignettes that occurred during the boss fights? Like, you'd be fighting a boss and then everything would stop and they'd have a conversation about why this woman can use magic because that was just something you did. You had a fight where you fell off of an airship and had to fight a battleship on the way down to the ground. I would love to see that done with a graphic style that can actually show people falling and trying to fight in the sky.
I know. Can you imagine, like, with like using like the Unreal Engine and like great character models and like graphics?
It would be
suplexing
amazing.
A ghost train.
Yes, like, these are all things that deserve an update. I actually have a theory that the reason why they haven't actually updated Final Fantasy VI is that they have no idea how they would actually make all those sequences work with realistic graphics. Because again, you're fighting a fully armed battleship while falling from the sky.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it somehow works.
They could make something like that.
No, I think it's the thing. It's not that they can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just that how would it look? Because when people get these updated graphics and stuff in their games, they generally want this hyper realism. They want it to look like, man, imagine if this was a movie, right? Okay, you're suplexing a train. You're falling from space.
Well, they would probably like change the battle system like they're doing with 7.
It still wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, punch it. Instead of suplexing a train, you're just going to punch it.
There's just so many weird things. The entire thing with the art house where the painting is just like flipping out. Like, there's just some cool, but it's just the best. You get the vector, you get to fight those raging espers.
There's many people in the chat room saying that there is no reason to remake Final Fantasy VI.
Oh no, don't get me wrong.
And you're saying that the energy being put into remaking some of the other games.
I would still like to see, like, when people say there's no need to remake it, a lot of times when people say something needs to be remade, they're saying it's mostly because the game needs the visual overhaul. It needs the update to look good.
Thousands of people just said it because like they just want more of it. You know, like, oh, I want to relive this.
No, but that's
a new thing.
But that's where I'm at. What you just said. I want to see the game get its due.
I'm right. You're wrong.
No, I'm saying you knucklehead. I agree with you.
I know.
But I can still go back and play 6 and enjoy it to this day with no qualms. In fact, I think the game is a beautiful game, and
That's gorgeous. I love the sprites. The battle. It can battle the enemy sprites. They look great.
And I have like weird quirks about that, like too. Like when you put on the sprint shoes and you're in battle and your character has that yellow overlay.
Yeah,
I like that to the point where I would prefer to have all my characters to either have sprint shoes on or something that would give them shells so you have the green overlay.
Just to make them look cool.
Just to make them look cool. Just like how on Mega Man, I always like the levels where you can actually see the black outline on Mega Man as opposed to levels where you can't. Weird stuff like that. But visually, the game is still fantastic. Just like Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger never stopped looking good. With that said, I would love to see them try to give it a visual overhaul because the old game will still be there. And it will still look like a treat.
Yeah.
But imagine what they could do with it.
Yeah, if it was more like cel-shaded, cartoony.
Yeah, because I would say for them, you know what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII, right? How they took it and they turned it into this like more action-y battle system. You see all the characters fighting together.
Essentially modern, yeah.
Chrono Trigger, in my opinion, is already built to look that way. Because the characters were already positioned in battle to kind of coordinate attacks with each other and such. So to see that
it's more dynamic already.
Yeah. So to see that get the full treatment with like updated 3D graphics and like full character models.
I can play Chrono Trigger today and it would be perfect.
It would be perfect.
Perfect.
That's a game that a lot of people play yearly. Like they'll play it once a year.
I'm thinking about like maybe I want to go back and play that one.
You should.
So good.
And the funniest thing about Chrono Trigger, no one has gotten that formula right since. People have tried and they've come close, but no one's gotten it right since. We've had I Am Setsuna, we've had Lost Fear, we've had Black Sigil. There are games I'm not even thinking about right now.
There's a newer indie game that came out a couple of years ago. I think Chris Murray had suggested it, but it was in the style of Chrono Trigger. And I will think of it. No, Secret of Mana, never mind.
You thought of it.
I'll think of it later. But no, it wasn't that game. It was a newer indie game. Anyway, we should move on here. I'm going to turn
I agree with Chris Murray.
This wonderful track all the way down. And we're going to get into the part of our show that is called the bonus round.
Bonus round.
Boogie to boogie. The bonus round is the part of the show where we play covers and remixes and arrangements on our theme. And our theme is influential classics. And I have got a good one for you guys. This is from Daryl Bowers.
The Last Week.
And it is Guile's theme from Street Fighter II. Street Fighter II, highly influential in the arcades and influential in my life. Composed by Yoko Shimomura, and this is arranged for piano and performed by Sonya Belousova. That was Guile's theme from Street Fighter II, composed by Yoko Shimomura and arranged and performed on piano by Sonya Belousova. Go on YouTube and look this up because it's an amazing performance, and as an arrangement, it's so interesting, and it's performed like with precision, which is really, really cool, and it sounds great. The video is really cool too. She's got this piano that is shaped. It's like a baby grand piano, but it looks like a pinball machine. Like it's got like pinstriping on the sides and like
Does
little
it say Pinball Wizard?
I forgot what it says.
Decal.
It's got a really funky name, like Player One piano instead of like Player Piano.
Mm-mm.
And on the sides of the piano are buttons, and there's like a little coin slot.
Huh.
It's really neat. So it's a cool video. So check it out. Her name is Sonya Belousova, Belousova. So I thought that was really cool, and that came from the Last Rican, Daryl Bowers.
It was a very good pick.
Yeah, good pick. So Pernell, what are you going with?
Before I do that, I have to read this run funny comment.
Yeah, you got
Chris
to call
Murray.
out people.
No, this is the call. This is
Yeah,
just
it's
a funny
call out.
comment.
Yeah. This is
No, it's not.
This is a beef time.
Ain't no darn beef.
It's beef.
Chris Murray
You
said,
got a hamburger.
Cosmic Star Heroin is like if you made a game in high school and Chrono Trigger was your actual PhD. That, ouch.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a call out on Cosmic Star Heroin though. Oof. But my actual track comes from listener Davy Cakes.
Davy Cakes.
And it's from the game Minecraft. And the track, which I didn't even realize had names in this game, it's called Sweden. And I'm looking forward to listening to this one again because it is something that I felt would be perfectly fitting for a bonus round track by sound.
This was a track called Sweden, and in the game, it was a file just called Calm.
But according to listener Davy Cakes, over time, whether the fan community itself or the composers, eventually the tracks were handed names.
They handed names.
But the original track just was based off of a file name.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And the artist, name is Daniel from Germany, and he goes by the pseudonym C418.
Sounds explosive.
It sounds explosive.
And we got ourselves a sweet testimonial.
I think that's really cool. Oh, great, yeah. What we got?
First thing that popped into my head when I read the topic was Minecraft, specifically Minecraft. Virtual Legos for a new generation, an amazing game alone or with friends.
Yes.
And it's safe to say, crafting and a slower pace have become much more prevalent across video games on the whole in its wake. It's also a great excuse to send you guys some great music from the needlessly stellar, calming, and at times bordering on meditative soundtrack that is Minecraft. I have to agree. And there's something to be said about the genuine, just like relaxing togetherness that this game can provide. I was playing this was one of the only games I was ever able to bond with my nephew over.
Oh yeah.
And I look back on those days fondly to this day. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah,
to play
I played a bunch of Minecraft with my nieces when we were at the beach a couple of years ago on the Switch, and it was a lot of fun. I was just like putting it in creative mode and just building stuff. Because before I tried playing with my nephews in Seattle, and I don't think the creative mode was out yet. It was like really early or something, and so it was all like I could only do stuff until it got turned dark, and then things would chase you. So because it had that survival element to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good. This is a really good pick. This really fits the mood that I'm in. It's just what I need.
It's like you just did Rob a solid.
Feels good. All right, so for more information on the bonus round part of our show, you can go to rhythmandpixels.com. We'll have links to all the sound clouds and band clouds, bandcamp.coms, everywhere where you can, places where you can buy the music and support these artists, including C418, the musician who did this music for Minecraft. Thanks for joining us on episode 21-10 of Rhythm and Pixels. This is our last episode of season 21, World 21 of the podcast. It's always fun when it ends on a stream episode.
Yeah, it is, especially when we get these weird, really passionate ones. Because there's been some chatter going on outside this thing.
To start banning Final Fantasy from the show.
No, more of it, because I have more I didn't even want to say. We won't even have a chance to talk about it.
You're going to be like on the way home, like, I gotta get
typing in the chat, like, I agree that Final Fantasy VIII is unfairly maligned and 9 is sadly overrated. I agree with both of those statements, despite my feelings about 8. Because I feel like, actually I will state this, just as a general thing. I feel like the things that would fix 8 for me could be done in a remake. That one could totally stand to get a remake. It would update the visuals in a way that worked, because I feel like that game visually did not stand the test of time. I feel as though they could fix the weapon system in a way so that you didn't really feel, one, the need to grind random enemies to get the components to make the weapon, and also have weapons actually matter. Also, have summons matter less, so you're not stuck doing boost damage all the friggin' time.
That was such a bane of my Final Fantasy VIII.
Yes.
So rough.
And lastly, because honestly, the plot is subjective. Some people like this, some people don't. So they don't need to change a thing there. Mm-hmm. But actually, correction. I want more Laguna time, because Laguna was awesome, and so were his friends. But the last thing, make the draw system more user time perspective friendly, and that's it. Everything else is great. I'm fine with the game. I'm even okay with driving a Corvette in the plains. All of it. I just have those specific nitpicks about the game.
I was thinking about downloading 15, but I didn't.
If you ever wanted to,
but I didn't.
I could just lend it to you.
I have to put a disc in the system.
Oh, 2 point.
And then I'd still have to download the update. I would probably just, because you know how I play games.
That is true.
Which is almost never. Oh, we're still recording.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. So yeah, this has been a good episode of classics. I feel like when you say we're looking for classics that have influenced you and influenced the industry and influenced games, everyone's got something.
Mm-hmm. But that's what makes it great, though, right?
Everyone's got like a different perspective on it. I think that's really neat.
Like, and it's why it's like, it was nice that Bedroth made that distinction, because I was totally going to go with something like tracks you love to give to loved ones or something, but this ends up being 10 times better than that.
Yeah, I think it might be fun to do future Patreon topics to be like maybe topics that we did previously from from episodes from like the past 3 episodes or something.
That could be cool.
Yeah, just to kind of like build on it. So if you listen to it and you're like, oh, I know something that would fit, then you can just kind of submit that. Okay. I think that might be kind of a fun thing. Unless our topic is literally like doorknobs.
Well, next month it's going to be lucky topic. Like, we got to go with that because lucky music, something lucky. Like, I have to figure out how to phrase it, but like
we did Lucky Sevens.
Yeah, but for the Patreon listeners, it has to be something like music that makes you feel like lucky. Like, what do you want? Like, music that you feel like you need to listen to. Like, you need a surge of good luck.
Okay.
It's like, as I said, it's going to be a weird way to phrase it, but it's gonna happen.
We're gonna do it.
It's gonna work. Lucky baby.
We're gonna workshop this thing.
It's back to the drawing board.
Anyway, if you'd like to submit a topic to us, if you have a track suggestion for us, or if you just want to say hi, like we'll say hi back, send us an email.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
And if you would like more information about our show, a full track listing from all of our episodes, and access to all of our episodes, check out the website,
rhythmandpixels.com.
And check us out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. It's Rhythm and Pixels. And check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/rhythmandpixels. All of our episodes get uploaded there. We have some clips from our live streams I put up there, like our quizzes and dumb trivia stuff that we do. And we also have a 24/7 live stream of 8-bit and 16-bit classics that just plays all day and all night long. So long as my internet's running, the server is on, and music is playing. And that's nice. And if you'd like to support the show, just tell people about it. Say like, hey, I listened to this thing and I like it. I think you'd like it too.
Mm-hmm.
That works for us. And if you'd like to support us further and get access to live streams and prequel episodes
and pina coladas
and walks in the rain, but no yoga.
I ain't getting down with no
yoga.
My body can't handle it.
Because it will change your height and sometimes your weight.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, you can go to patreon.com/rhythmandpixels and you can support us there. And every little bit is really fantastic. And we also like to give a shout out to all of our Patreon members at the end of every episode, which is becoming challenging. So we'd like to start with That Nick Walker, Mike Myers, Johan Perez, Reinhard Selkova, Andreas Milberg, Dan Loughton, Phantom Jest, Steve Miller, The Autistic Gamer 89, Cameron Worma, thank you, Christopher Shenstrom, Bobby Arson from One Up Funk, Wicked Sephiroth, Carlos from the Heroes 3 podcast, Michael Bridgewater from the Forever Sound Version podcast, who's released a couple new episodes. So go check that out. Forever Sound Version. It's a fantastic, fantastic show. Brian Pitt, Chris Marie, and we have a new Patreon member, Butsbo. Thanks,
Ooh.
Butsbo. Yeah, Butsbo. Hemmick. From KVGM.
I'm sorry, I got stuck because Bedroth said Purnell's body is not Reggie. I'm like, what is going on in this chat?
I don't even know. Beef is happening. Hammock, who is the host and producer of KVGM, The Last Wave, a chill and jazzy VGM podcast. Really good stuff. Bruce Irons from The Mad Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Check them out. Their new Kickstarter, Turbo City Gaiden. Show them some love. It's really good. It's good stuff. Plugging the heck out of it. Okay. Ed Wilson from the VG Embassy, another great podcast that I was on there the last episode. A blind listen. Alexander Proudfoot, Davey Cakes. Is that the dude? Das Dude? Yes, Das Dude.
Das Dude. The Duderino?
The Duderino, or just the dude if you're not into the whole brevity thing. The Last Weekend, Bedroth, Kitsurito, Soulless Sanctuary, Mix6 Master, Damian Beckles, Joe Fasalo, OK Impala, Christinerson, Alex the Messenger, whose show is running strong right now. It's The Messenger Presents a VGM Journey, which is really cool.
That's the like we start doing a VGM escapade.
We gotta do that. We gotta go a VGM Journey. Oh, you didn't do it with me. And then David Smith. a VGM
Smith.
journey.
Smith.
Okay, I'm getting super silly now. Anyway, thank you all of you very, very much for your continued support of the show. It means a whole lot to us. And again, you get to be in the chat room during these episodes and just make fun of us. And
Rob is going to
jokes.
cut you, Mike. He said, "Have another fine episode. Thank you, Purnell and Bob." I was like, Rob is going to cut you. He is going to cut you.
He's starting beef with me now.
Beef.
Coming Bobby Beef. Gonna get that.
Oh my God.
Beef and steak. All right, so thanks for joining us. Next week we have Bruce Irons from the Mad Gear coming on the show, and we're going to talk about some fun stuff. We're going to talk about his latest Kickstarter project. We're going to talk about everything because he's a cool dude. And he's a bad dude. I think we're going to have to. I think for that episode, we're going to have to finally come up with my tough guy name. It's going to happen. Yeah.
And when he's on the show, he's going to help brainstorm it.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of anything. I come up with like ridiculous stuff like
Pillow
Happy Camper or Pillow Puncher.
Pillow fight for now.
Or catfish filleter. I don't know, things that aren't tough, possibly delicious, nothing cool though. I need help. I need support.
Oh man, we'll come up with it. I think that's going to be the goal of next week. So yeah, to tune in for that. We're gonna have some more fun. So thanks for listening to the show. My name's Rob Nichols,
and I'm Purnell.
Have a safe week. We'll see you then.
And remember, discussions are great, conversations are great. Subjective topic matter is also great to discuss because you just share ideas of why you like and dislike things. And if you're lucky, the passion will fire up and then you'll really get into a great conversation. However, one thing worth noting and keeping in mind is that passion should stay just that, passion. Once it gets to the point where you start taking it personally, you're running into dangerous territory. Step back a little bit, take a breath, and just remember, it's all fun and games, and we're all having fun. So, leave it at that and just enjoy the banter.